So I'm going to be honest with you. Success is not easy, and it's definitely not luck. So in today's video, what I want to do is break down the sacrifices that I've made to become a self-made millionaire at 25. Let's get into it. What's up guys, welcome to today's video. My name is Peterson, and for those that don't know me, I'm a serial entrepreneur and have built up multiple seven-figure businesses surrounding Amazon FBA. And in today's video, what I want to do is break down the sacrifices that I've made to become a millionaire at 25 years old. A lot of times people see the cars, the houses, traveling, all the different things that I'm doing, but they don't see the bigger picture and the sacrifices that I actually made to get to that point. So we're gonna dive into my screen, we're gonna break down my story, the sacrifices that I made, and you guys are going to laugh at the things that I actually did to get to where I'm at currently. So before we dive into it, do me a favor, go down, like the video, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and let's jump into my screen right here and let's break down where it all began. So right here at 20 years old, my wife and I got married. We were super young. She was dancing at the university at the time. So she had a full ride scholarship, dancing while going to school full time. So she didn't have time for a job. I was also going to school at that time, working a part-time job. And what was awesome is we were so broke that we were able to get grants, which allowed us to pay for my school, and then it covered part of our housing. So it worked out really well. And I was working this part-time job selling call center technology. At the time I was making 12 bucks an hour, which I was stoked on. And then there was also a commission structure as well. And in that 8 months of working that job, this is embarrassing to even say, I didn't get one deal. I didn't make $1 in commissions. And looking back on it, that kind of sucked. Like I was cold calling, cold emailing, working my butt off, and didn't really get rewarded that much. And I was making 12 bucks an hour, so I mean, I couldn't complain that much, but at the same time, I was like, man, this is horrible. And so it put us in kind of a sticky situation. So this was our first condo that we had together. At the time, I mean, this was a smoking deal. This was 700 bucks a month. This isn't anything like bad or anything, like our living circumstances were awesome, but I'm just showing you kind of exactly what we went through, the sacrifices that we made. So we had a condo that we were paying 700 bucks a month for. At the time, we had to budget like crazy. I had a part-time job, not making much money at all. Luckily, we had some grants. My wife was going to school and dancing, so we didn't really have any money coming from her. And so we had to eat the essentials like eggs, milk, bread, peanut butter, top ramen, mac and cheese, cereal. And a lot of people are going to be like, oh, you need to take health seriously and you need to treat your body right. And I understand, but in our circumstances, we had to make that sacrifice. We didn't have the money to go and do meal prep and get nice luxury meals, where now, I mean, I'm door dashing like 3 times a day, which is another story for another day. But at the time, this is what we did. And we saved a lot of money doing it. And honestly, like, I like eggs, I like cereal. My wife loves mac and cheese. So it was a sacrifice, but at the same time, we enjoyed it and we had fun with it. So you do have to make those little sacrifices. And when people say, oh, you just got lucky, it's easy, or oh, you didn't work that hard for it, that's not the case. Success is not easy. So that was our living circumstances. And like I mentioned, we were short on cash. And so what I ended up doing is just going around the house and selling anything and everything that I could find. I was selling my watches that I got for Christmas when I was like 17 years old. I was selling textbooks. I was selling our wedding presents. We got gifts when we got married, and I started selling those to make some extra money. One of the saddest things that I sold, and I still kind of regret doing this, but at the time we kind of had to do what we had to do. I sold my wife's Nintendo DS that she got when she was like 12 years old. She was really connected to it. She loved the game Animal Crossing, and she didn't want to sell it. And I was like, no, we need to sell it. We need the money. I have made up for it since I got her Switch. I got her Animal Crossing, and yes, she plays it, and she's 25 years old, but that was kind of sad. I had to sell her Nintendo DS, and I had to sell my wife's possessions to make life work because we didn't have the money to do whatever we wanted. And a lot of times people get confused because they see where I'm at now, but they don't see these things that I did to get to where I'm at. So I just was selling everything and anything. It also led me down the hole of starting different side hustles, different businesses. I started growing Instagram accounts, grew a few to 10,000 plus followers, was making a little bit of money, but it wasn't anything consistent, which then led to doing a little boutique pop-up shop with my wife. There was a local company that offered, hey, you can buy our clothes and you can do pop-up shops. And we did this, and it didn't really work that well. I mean, we made a couple $1,000s, but it was a lot of work. My wife didn't like it. She was too busy. And I mean, I can't sell clothes. Like, my wife is the cute one. Like, I can't be at these pop-up shops myself. Like, I had to bring her along. And so it didn't really work out that well, but we did do this, and it was a good learning experience, but it didn't really work out as we had hoped. So that was really interesting. Then I started doing Shopify dropshipping and then started to try to build my own brand. And long story short, that didn't work, completely failed. Tried that for about 6 months. And while I was trying all of these different things, I was going to school, I was working that part-time job. I was just trying to do everything and anything to get something to work because number one, I didn't like college. Number two, I didn't like my part-time job. Number three, we were broke. And so I was just trying to figure something out. And so my journey just kind of went all over the place, and it led to me dropping out of school and working construction, getting a 9-to-5 job, working construction. And this was a great experience, but it was something that I didn't like doing. I didn't like waking up every single morning, going and breaking my back, cleaning up messes like this, breaking concrete, delivering tile, delivering cabinets. And it was brutal. It was a lot of work. And I was working like 10 hours, 12 hours a day, not really making that much money. Now, it did put us in a better financial situation, but I wasn't really making that much money still. I was making like 36 grand a year, breaking my back, working 12 plus hours a day. And so that was quite the experience. And while I was working construction, I decided to join a network marketing company, an MLM. And I'm sure you guys may have joined one, and I know they get a really big black eye, but this was kind of the turning point and what shifted my mindset and really has helped me get to where I'm at currently. I did have a little bit of success. I grew a decent downline, but sadly, the company ended up going out of business. And if they didn't, I probably would be making quite a bit of money. I was making like three grand a month from this network marketing company. I was working really hard. As soon as I got home from my construction job, I would go to different events, different things, trying to just build up my downline and build an actual business because I was like, hey, I'm almost making more than my 9-to-5 job. Now, I wasn't doing the best job at my 9-to-5 job, and I was kind of slacking off because I was focused on this, and it went out of business. And so I was like, well, that kind of sucks, which then led to my journey of Amazon and different things, which we'll talk about here in a second. But at that time, we decided to move out of the condo and move into my grandparents' basement. Nobody really knows this, and I'm not gonna say I'm getting emotional, but at the same time, I kind of am thinking about this. Like, I love my grandparents, and I'm so grateful that they let me stay in their place, because for 8 months we lived rent-free, and this is where we stayed. And it's awesome to kind of look back on that, and those are the sacrifices that we made to get to where we're at. And like, no joke, I'm kind of choking up right now looking at this picture of where we stayed for 8 months. So I was working my 9-to-5, doing the network marketing company, living in my grandparents' basement, trying to save as much money as possible, and it ended up working out. We started saving and saving and saving. We were still eating on a budget. We weren't spending anything crazy, and that was something that not a lot of people know. We lived rent-free in my grandparents' basement for 8 months. It then led us to buying our first townhome. We were able to save enough money doing that for 8 months to then get into our townhome, and this is where it gets kind of crazy. At that time, I started doing Amazon and things started going well, but I just wanted to do everything and anything to make more money. I was like, I'm not satisfied. We're still not making enough. And so I Airbnb'd our house. When we went like camping for a weekend, I would throw our house on Airbnb. And as you guys can see, this was 2018. We made $600 in a span of like a couple weeks because we Airbnb'd our house. And I was like, hey, that's $600. We weren't there. And I was just kind of getting creative, thinking of different ways to number one, put more money in my pocket, and then number two, how can I save more money in my business to reinvest it to grow it that much bigger? And that's what a lot of people don't realize is you might be doing big numbers, you might be doing big sales, your business might be really successful, but a lot of times you have to reinvest a lot of money back into it to continue to grow it. And then it gets to a point where, yes, you can start taking money out. But I was at that point where I could have taken money out and could have gone and bought fancy things, but I was like, no, like, let's Airbnb our house and let's get creative and do different things. And so that's what we did. I'm not saying to go Airbnb your house. My wife hated it. That's why we only did it 3 times. I loved it. I was like, man, this is awesome. Like, we're making $600 for literally, it was like 5 nights, I think. 5 or 6 nights, $600. And I was like, this is awesome. Like, we should do this. Like, let's just go camping and go camping for a month and just Airbnb our house for the entire month. She wasn't on board with that, but that was a sacrifice that more than anything she had to make, because she didn't like people sleeping in our beds and coming home with a little bit of a different smell in it. I know that might sound super weird, but again, those are the little sacrifices that we made to get to where we're at currently. So I know I'm kind of all over the place showing you guys different things of what I went through to get to where I'm at currently. And like I mentioned, at that time, I was doing my Amazon businesses. I was launching products, reinvesting profits, trying to grow that as much as possible. And I got to the point where I quit my 9-to-5 job and just kept reinvesting and growing it to a point where my first year we did $210,000. That was way more money than I made at my 9-to-5 job. And I was also doing little crazy things like just selling random things online, Airbnb-ing our house. And so it slowly started to grow from there. My first year, I mean, my life completely changed in a span of a year from me starting my Amazon business. But again, it didn't happen overnight. There was a lot of sacrifices leading up to that, to have the capital to launch these products, to then reinvest in my business, to not splurge and spend it all on stupid things that we don't necessarily need. So this is kind of where it all started. I was like, man, I've got like 10 boxes in my basement and things are going so good. And just a few short years later, things completely changed to where I was doing 6 figures per month, to where I got my own space. I have a lot more boxes, and this is kind of an old picture. If you guys saw it right now, you would probably be a little stressed because there's boxes everywhere. I need to go organize the place. I've been able to grow my business to 6 figures per month, 7 figures per year. Now I'm able to live the lifestyle of my dreams. And it wasn't always like that. I had to make so many sacrifices, as you guys saw, living in my grandparents' basement, eating food that probably wasn't the healthiest, starting different side hustles, selling possessions that we probably shouldn't have been selling, but we were doing everything and anything to get to where we wanted to be. And I'll be honest, it paid off, and the reward is 10 times greater than those sacrifices that I made. I also sacrificed hanging out with friends. I lost a lot of friends. I had to sacrifice family time because I was so focused on building my business. And there's a lot of other little miscellaneous sacrifices that I made to get to this point. And I share that with you because this $1 million number right here didn't just happen in a few short months. It took a lot of time before, back in 2016, when I got married. Ups and downs and the struggles, the budgeting, the part-time jobs, the side hustles, the craziness of everything that I was doing to just keep our heads above water. People don't see that. People see this. People see these numbers and they're like, oh, it was easy, or oh, he got lucky. It wasn't like that. It was a lot of hard work to get to this number. So now, fast forward 4, almost 5 years later, now I'm able to enjoy these vacations, enjoy the incredible lifestyle of experiencing things that I would have never dreamed of experiencing. Traveling, seeing the world, buying cars. I know material things are not the most important, but for me, this Tesla right here is like my biggest prized possession, because I said that I was going to buy this car once I hit 7 figures. And once I hit 7 figures, I bought the car and I got this Amazon FBA license plate. That's like a trophy to me. This truck, it was during quarantine and I wanted to fish. I wanted to go explore the world. So I bought a truck. And my business and my financial situation allowed me to do that and literally take like 2 months off and go experience the world and go fish and do things that I'm passionate about. And then this Porsche, I was able to buy my wife and reward her with all the hard work and sacrifices that we've made, nothing is more rewarding. And I don't show this to you guys to brag or say I'm better than you. I'm just showing you that each one of these things is a trophy, it's a reward, and it makes me like feel accomplished. Okay, but again, it didn't happen overnight. We were also able to purchase an amazing home at 24 years old. I mean, this is crazy, and it's probably too big of a home for just the two of us. We don't have any kids. We do have a dog, but this is the home that we were able to buy, and it's amazing, which has also allowed us to have rental properties, to start building a portfolio of passive income to where I am up to 5 doors. So we have the townhome, which that's the first home that we bought, the first home that we lived in. We're renting it out, and we're actually selling it as we speak so that I can go and buy more properties. It's just appreciated so much that we're selling it. And then I have 2 single family homes, and then I have a duplex. I've been able to use my money because I haven't just gone and spent it. And yes, you see the cars, you see the houses, but I'm budgeting still. I'm using the same principles of living below my means, not spending every dollar that I make and saving it. And it's allowed me to build an investment of real estate. It's also allowed me to do different syndication deals, which these are some of my favorite. I'm in different major apartment complexes, one in Las Vegas, one in Idaho. I'm in a huge land development up in Park City, one of the best places here in Utah. And it's all been because of the sacrifices that I made. And again, I do not share any of this to say that I'm better than you. I'm just sharing this with you to help you guys understand the reality of success. It doesn't happen overnight. You've got to make sacrifices, and I hope that my story has inspired you to go change whatever you're doing to get on track to get to where you want to be. It's not going to be easy. It's going to take time. It's going to take patience. It's going to take discipline. There's going to be a lot of sacrifices involved, but I promise you, if you do those things, you're going to be happier than you've ever been. And right now, as we speak, I still feel like I'm living in a dream. It's insane, but I've put in the work. I've done all the necessary steps to get to where I'm at. And 4 or 5 years later, I'm living in a dream at 25 years old. Not a lot of people can say that at my age, and I hope that you guys can use this as inspiration to go out and make your dreams become a reality. Anyways, that's my story. That's just me being honest, me being raw, me being 100% real with you guys. It's not been easy, but I promise it's worth it. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did, go down, subscribe to the channel, like the video, share this video with somebody that needs to hear this message. Help them understand that success is possible. It's just whether you're willing to put in that effort. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys thought down below in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video.